I'm in the middle of this fellowship call. I'm gonna drop y'all into the end of it real quick.
Need time away from technology.
We should not allow someone else's opinion or how they see things to dictate how we're going to move in our life. You have to have a mind of your own, basically, is what I'm trying to say.
I do fear a bit for the upcoming generations and how they'll deal with the effects of social media. Because I mean, our generation, we grew up in like the first phase really of it.
They're just seeing like what's going on with social media now, and I feel like they're just gonna grow older and know exactly what's to come and what like to handle with social media.
I hope that they are able to look back on research or to take a step back and kind of look at what social media is doing so that they don't spiral into a negative spiral.
I like the
Really to make
integration
kids
of
more
the
aware
of the
of the
captions there
effects
as well. That
without
was
coming off
another
as
good
preachy.
placement.
On a positive note, it'll give them a platform to build any business or get their name out.
The best thing that people can do for social media moving forward is learning that you don't need it. That's probably going to be the best way for younger generations to break out of the snake eating its own tail that we're caught up in right now with social media, is to realize that you really don't need it that much.
Wunderbar. Yeah. Yeah, that was fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, you all hit that on the head. Great job. I told Greg this last Friday, and I'll tell the group this now. As a collective, I feel like I'm throwing lobs, and you all are dunking them and windmill dunking them. I appreciate you all for being receptive and having a growth focus. We're gonna be kicking out some great product. Good job.
Yes, sir. I agree. Thoughts from the team. Start with you, Dorian.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was all right, for sure. I think I always look and sound weird on camera,
We
so
all think that at
We all,
first.
yeah.
not to yeah. I when I was watching it, I was just kind of like, ugh, for my part anyway. Everyone else was all right. But I was looking at mine, just kind of like gross. But yeah, A+ for everyone else.
well, we're here to let you know that's Cap. You did great. You look fine.
Yeah, I was just talking to Andrea about this earlier. I was like, I used to feel the same way, and then I got to a point where I was in front of the camera enough that I'm like, you know what? I accept it. It's me, even if you just it takes some time. But
I'll happily put myself in front of camera, but it's one of those things where I'm not really cognizant of what I said or did on camera after the camera turns off. So,
we got you.
like I'm not insecure until the camera turns off, and I'm like, what is it? Because a lot of actors have that. A lot of actors don't know
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, but as long as the confidence is on camera, it doesn't really matter. As long as you bring all that energy to camera, then how you feel, with the final product is neither here nor there. As long as you give the performance that the director wanted.
Yep.
And the most important thing was you shared your thoughts clearly. It was concise. It was good.
Yes, sir. Cool. Michaela, I'll pass it on to you next. Any thoughts?
As much as I'm trying to get used to my voice and hearing it, it was just I enjoyed it. Like it was just so interesting, especially just looking at it from an audience standpoint. I just couldn't get my eyes off the video because it was just an interesting topic. Just because social media is big.
Absolutely. Wise words. Andrea?
Yeah, first of all, great job. The editing was really good.
Thank you.
really liked when you did the interview and you did the 2 camera changes. I noticed that and I thought that looked really good in it. So yeah.
Thank you.
I completely didn't think about TikTok when you were bringing up like different social media platforms. Like,
Yeah.
but I've never used TikTok before. Never even downloaded it. Mostly out of spite, just because I don't like it. But like I've never touched TikTok before. I guess I don't know. That
Hold the
TikTok is
line.
probably the TikTok is probably the most influential social media um, app though right now, in my opinion.
You know what the thing is though? Every app has its day of that. You know, like
Yeah,
every app has that growth curve where it's the most influential. But regardless of any strategic or tactical perspective, Dorian, I'll tell you, hold the line. I'm learning TikTok out of obligation and to understand how to propagate a brand properly on there.
yeah.
But it's
So
definitely a platform that is designed um it's designed for consumption, you know.
yeah,
Absolutely.
a lot of media brands use it for just commercialism and just different sort of things like taking people who are on the app to promote. That's what the word I'm looking for, promotion. A lot of companies use it for promotion now, like the bigger it's getting. So I didn't think about, I don't know, I did not think about TikTok, but that is like one of the big ones. Like all my brothers use TikTok. Like everyone I know has TikTok. I've never downloaded it. So I think that's why I just never thought of it. That's one of the big ones.
Facts. Facts. Hey Greg, have we premiered the college walkthrough to the
Uh,
fellowship?
no, we have not.
Are you all interested in seeing that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool. All right, let me pull that up real quick. Oh yeah.
I think this will be my first time. I think this will be my first time seeing this one as well. Actually,
The college one.
the final version.
Oh, okay. I need to add it into Notion.
Okay, hold up. Now come here.
Let me see.
All right, I got it.
Okay, coming. Now come here. Hurry.
Yeah, I don't have the most recent one.
All right, it's up there for everybody.
Yep.
Hey everybody, welcome to North College Avenue. I'm excited to walk you through this property. It has been vacant for a very long time, but we are here to bring it back to life. This property right here is going to hopefully bring to bear up to 48 multifamily apartment units to the side of town, part new construction and part renovation. Let's walk through. Very spacious basement. And laundry or we can actually get on up to the main portion of the building, and we can show you what that looks like. So this property in its heyday, I'll say, was actually 2 independent duplexes that were at some point merged together. They created some hodgepodge Frankenstein of a living quarters, among other mixed use things. So the floor that we're on right now is actually what we're going to call the main level. We envision completely blowing this entire building out to start over, to create functional, beautiful, quality living quarters for anyone who decides that they want to live here. So we're here in the heart of the building on the main level, and as I mentioned before, it doesn't really matter what the building looks like today. That's the beauty of renovation. We're going to gut this thing and make it brand new. We're hoping to achieve about 12 multifamily units in this building here. We're just going to redo the guts and bring 12 new, wonderful, functional units to the market. So now I want to take you guys out back to show you the area or the space for the new construction project. Because again, this is going to be part renovation, part new construction. And what you see behind us is our opportunity for up to 36 new construction units. These units will be mostly 1-bedroom and studio units with a few 2-bedrooms sprinkled in. We are also hoping to achieve below building, but above ground parking. Ultimately, it will look like surface level parking below the building and then 3 other levels of
Good audio transition.
Thank you so much for joining us on this walkthrough of North College Avenue.
Y'all didn't highlight the studio. Yeah, come with me. I know she showed you the vestibule. Come on. For those of you who may have that rats to riches or no rats in this house, fortunately, but definitely a lot of rags like that one in this house. But if you have any rags to riches dreams, I got something for you. It's probably gonna get tore out, but we may be able to work out like a discounted rate until. Boom. The door is locked. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy DJ Rob McFarlane, Rob Mac 49 back there. We gonna have to go around, but look, we got the mini fridge, we got the setup. You know what I'm saying? Follow me. Rob Mac 49 back there. We gonna have to go around and get through. We got the mini fridge. Thank you, Arkenia. Right on. Which was formerly, follow me, a bathroom. Thank you, Arkenia. Southampton. Look on through here so you can see through to the studio. Yeah, you see it. You see how it's going down. Whoop that. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard, get with me. So I'll be sending that one out today, and then actually we'll be sending out our that fellowship feature, which is beautiful, and I just love the fact that I'm not in the video. It's featuring y'all, your thoughts, and that's the whole purpose of this, is to just establish a round table and an environment for thoughts to be communicated clearly. So keep it up. Keep it up, everybody. I think that's a strong 30-minute round table. Greg, if you want to close it out, let's see if we have any last thoughts from anyone.
For sure. Yep. Last thoughts from the team. Any questions, concerns?
Just commenting on the college walkthrough. I initially thought it was going to be something else, like a university video or something, but now I was like, oh, it's an address. Okay. So we're looking at a house. I had a different interpretation, but I like the one edit that I thought was really cool was the rewind edit when you towards the very end where we go to Mike and he's walking around and going on a rant. It almost looks like, Mike, you were oddly aggressive when you were going that was very aggressive. Like if that was an episode of Cribs, the audience would think, is he upset or excited about what that was oddly aggressive the way you're going about the rooms, but
just trying to bring some different energy to the presentation,
Yeah, I guess if it were me, I'd go, all right, I get it. It's all right, brother. But yeah, I thought that last edit with the overlap of the audio of Mike's voice, and then you see the rewind and everything. I thought that was a really nice touch.
Refreshing, unexpected.
Absolutely. Thank you. Cool. Any last thoughts, Michaela, Andrea, whether it's on this college video or?
I don't have anything.
What is that? Okay. Yeah, no thoughts. I thought it was a good video. Like your edit was really good.
What is it?
All right, awesome, cool. Well, that's a round table. We're just over 7:30, so I'm not gonna hang anybody any longer. Yeah, Michaela, I'll see you tomorrow. Dorian, I'll tap in with you.
Oh, now the mouse is candy.
Keep building.
All right, guys. Have a good evening.
That is not black cheese. No, it's not black cheese. That's what the mouse is that can eat it. Cannot smell the.
I love that Drea leaves the room
Smell it.
Yeah,
and
she
then
does every
and then
Smell
exits.
that nasty cheese.
Yeah, that was another nice
This one's nasty.
meeting to the
Smell
point.
it.
I would say that between June and now, your meeting running has went from like a 6 to a 10.
Wow. Okay.
I'd give you a 10.
Thank you.
Yeah, you killing it.
Appreciate it. Big bets, man. Big bets.
So, all right, well, I gotta feed these children before they.
Yeah.
Well, they're being graceful about it, but is Wes still doing his practice?
Yeah, we were up here. I actually was in it.
Nice.
I didn't expect to. It was cool. So I'm probably gonna hop back in there.
Nice. I love it. Oh, cool. Enjoy.
Appreciate it.
Bye bye.
All right. Later.
Bye, Greg.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye, Greg.
I'm gonna run that back.
Look at that toy. Brother, look at that toy. Hey, that's my toy.
What y'all want to eat?
Let's see. Ew. I love unicorns. I
What
love
do you
unicorns,
want?
Daddy. I love unicorns. Are you still
hungry?
Yeah. Okay, what do you want to eat?
Unicorn Club.
What do you want to eat? Oh, I have stickers. What do you want to eat? Okay, what do you want to eat? What do you want to eat? I want when you look in this book to see. Okay. Unicorns! I want unicorns! No, Kenna, what do you actually want to eat? Orange chicken.
Orange chicken.
No, we actually do have some orange chicken here. You know that?
You know what? I'll make orange chicken. Tonight.
Yay!
Sam, you gotta do the dishes. Kendall, no, you didn't just throw that book.
Sorry.
Michael, I need you to go do the dishes. You know how. We showed you how. So knock that out. I'm about to come up there and make some orange chicken.
Daddy, look what I have.
Let me see. I need to refresh.
Those aren't stickers, Daddy. These
Huh?
aren't stickers. These aren't stickers. This is what I love to do.
Oh, really?
These are-
What are they?
This is what I love to do.
Okay.
But there's lots of unicorns.
Hey everybody, welcome to North
Unicorn
College Avenue.
love.
I'm excited to walk
Excuse
you
me,
through
babe.
this property. It has been vacant for a very long time, but we are here to bring it back to life. This property right here is going to hopefully bring to bear up to 48 multifamily apartment units to this side of town, part new construction and part renovation. Let's walk through. On the lower level, we have a basement. It's a very spacious basement and ideal for laundry or some sort of common area, game room, or entertainment space. We can actually head on up to the main portion of the building and we can show you what that looks like. So this property in its heyday, I'll say, was actually 2 independent duplexes that were at some point merged together. They created some hodgepodge Frankenstein of a living quarters, among other mixed use things. So the floor that we're on right now is actually what we're gonna call the main level. We envision completely blowing this entire building out to start over, to create functional, beautiful, quality living quarters for anyone who decides that they want to live here. So we're here in the heart of the building on the main level, and as I mentioned before, it doesn't really matter what the building looks like today. That's the beauty of renovation. We're gonna gut this thing and make it brand new. We're hoping to achieve about 12 multifamily units in this building here. We're just gonna redo the guts and bring 12 new, wonderful, functional units to the market. So now I want to take you guys out back to show you the area or the space for the new construction project, because again, this is going to be part renovation, part new construction. And what you see behind us is our opportunity for up to 36 new construction units. These units will be mostly 1-bedroom and studio units with a few 2-bedrooms sprinkled in. We are also hoping to achieve below building but above ground parking. Ultimately, it will look like surface level parking below the building and then 3 other levels of new apartments. Thank you so much for joining us on this walkthrough of North College Avenue.
Y'all didn't highlight the studio? Here, come with me. Come with me. I know she showed you the vestibule. Come on. For those of you who may have that rags to riches or no rags, unfortunately, but definitely a lot of rags like that one in this house. But if you have any rags to riches dreams, I've got something for you. It's probably gonna get tore out, but you know, we may be able to work out like discounted rate until. Boom. The door is locked, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy DJ Rob McFarlane. Rob Mac 49 back there. We gonna have to go around, but look, we got the mini fridge, we got the setup, you know what I'm saying? Follow me. Once you come through here and get through the waiting room, which was formerly a bathroom, we got a nice sound dampened look on through here so you can see through to the studio. Yeah, you see it. You see how it's going down. Whoop that. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Howard, get with me.
Let's see if that brings in. And it does. That's nice. What's not nice is, yeah, that's how it happens. That quick. Come upstairs to put together orange chicken, and my son almost just lost his life trying to put dishes away. So I don't think I can hand him that task yet. Can't focus on doing one thing at a time. So here, let me get this oven started real quick. And I'll spin something. Actually, I'm gonna take this off of everything but Twitch, and then I'll spin something. Until I sit back down. Hey, do not come in this kitchen while this broken ceramic is in there. All right? Don't go in the kitchen. Okay? Okay, children.
Okay.
Thank you. What you reading? What you reading, babe? What you reading?
I'm reading a unicorn club.
Yeah, because she loves unicorns. What you reading? Love it. Very proper. Alright. Yeah, babe. Not tonight. The gaming time requests are mandatory. Yeah, babe. The answer is not today. Not today.
Welcome to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So happy to have you here today. My name is Jimmy McMillan. I am the Chief Diversity Officer and Senior Corporate Counsel for the track. So give you a little bit of background about myself. I'm from the south side of Chicago, an area called the Wild Hundreds. I knew nothing about racing growing up other than Hot Wheels cars that I had. I had no clue that this place exists or that the concept of racing existed. I grew up in a house with domestic violence. I grew up in a spot where we had gangs, folks, and vice lords. And when I was 16 years old or 15 years old, I was in a drive-by shooting and my best friend gets shot, gets his head blown off. And my mother says, you can go to college. I go to Michigan State for 2 years. And while I'm at Michigan State, my father comes up and tries to shoot me in the dorm. I end up hiding out in Detroit. And while I was in Detroit, my half-brother, who was 9 years older than me, brought me to IU Bloomington. And 3 months after I got to IU Bloomington, my father shot my mother 3 times, and I flunked out of school.
Crazy story.
I ended up working odd jobs at like Best Buy here and there.
Yeah.
I ended up working at Firestone and down in Southern Indiana. And while I was there, these guys from Southern Indiana used to tease me about not knowing anything about racing. I worked my way up from changing tires to being an assistant manager. And they always would play the NASCAR race on the radio. They eventually said, we're gonna take you to the race. And I said, no, you're not. And they were like, no, we're gonna take you to the race. You're gonna be fine. It's gonna be great, Jimmy. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So these guys brought me up here, big mechanic, Columbus, Indiana citizens, brought me here, and I saw the Dixie flags, and I saw the South Will Rise Again t-shirts, and I saw people that used to be white that were now red. Because it's hot in Brickyard, but the other thing I saw were people who were really nice and passionate. But the minute those cars cranked up, and I saw the colors and everything, I loved it. I've always loved cars. Black people love cars, Latino people love cars. Nobody has a block on that. But I had never been exposed to it, right? And once I was exposed to it, and they explained to me the concepts of drafting and what the people were doing, it became my favorite sport like that. And Tony Stewart became my favorite driver, who lives in Columbus, Indiana, and is a NASCAR champion. He won that day, and ever since then, I've kind of been on this weird path that has developed me here. I ended up getting back in undergrad, graduated, went to law school here at Robert McKinney, clerked for the Supreme Court for Justice Sullivan, and then went to Barnes & Thornburg and became a partner at Barnes & Thornburg. I was there for 12 years.
Yeah, only black partner in the city.
Well, I was not the only, but it was a lot.
One of two.
But during that time, I got into motorcycles. I'm the president of the largest motorcycle club in the state, 317 Riders MC. I ride motorcycles a lot, and we do a lot of community service activities. I, and probably in my arrogance, basically came to the lobby of the Speedway, said I would like to talk to the president about using the track for a fundraiser for the Christopher House. They put me in touch with Paul Riley, Paul Riley was an African American who worked here, who worked his way up from being a painter to being the head of facilities. He was one of the most known black people in racing at the time. He said, okay, I'm gonna put my name on the line and let you have this program. How many bikes you think you're gonna have? I said, oh, it's just gonna be 200. It ended up being 8,000. 8,000 African American and Latino bikers came here to raise money, and we raised over $30,000 for the Christopher House. We started an all-black race team called Force Indy, run by Rod Reed. That team became the first team to win an IndyCar sanctioned event in USF 2000. Black driver, black owner, black engineering team. The engineering team were the kids who came from the first class of NXG 16 years ago. They had high performance degrees from Purdue. When I first came here, I used to have to beg for tickets for them to even go sit in the grandstands at 500. And last year, they were all on IndyCar teams. Every last one of them for the 500 worked the IndyCar team. I know I sound passionate and I'm telling you a lot, but I'm glad I have a lot to tell you. That's a lot of information. You're not here to listen to me all day, but if you have questions, I'll be glad to ask them. I'm so excited to see you here, especially people who it's the first time. I really and truly hope you come back to the 500 because it's just, TV does not do it justice, and I can't explain to you until you talk to somebody. What you guys are coming out, it warms my heart, it gives me strength and energy, and I just can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
When I started the diversity series, I'm going to be honest, it was a challenge because I didn't have a budget and State Party wasn't really trying to give me a budget. And so 2 weeks before the first inaugural class graduation, they were like, hey, you got to sell these tickets and you've got to raise money to cover the cost of your graduation in 2 weeks. And I said, well, how am I going to do that? They were like, I don't know, but you better figure it out. So I started just shooting out emails. Hey, we're having a graduation. I need you to buy a table, It's $1,000, please. It was going to cost me $20,000 to put on the graduation. The first sponsor I got was Bob Bowen. He said, here's $5,000. Maybe I'm going to give you 10. Whatever you need, let me know. Next was Karen Klutz. She said, here's $5,000. Let me know what you need. Out of everybody, and when I say everybody, y'all know Republicans run this state, right? We hold every statewide office. We got super majorities in the House, and we got what, 70-some% of all of the mayors are Republican. But only one Republican mayor gave money to us. Only one Republican mayor stepped up and said, out of my campaign funds, here you go, because I want to support this initiative. And it was him.
That's right.
A panel of mayors, but I felt like it's not fair for mayors that got that same email, that saw the initiatives that we were doing and decided not to partake, and I only asked for $500 from the mayors, and decided not to partake, to have an opportunity to address you, to have an opportunity to come to this track, and to have an opportunity to have dimensional dialogue with you guys. And so I took the other mayors off the email and I said, I'm actually just going to go with the one that supported me, so I want to support him. So we've got the Kokomo mayor, Tyler Moore, here to just talk a little bit about, one, how you got into office, because Kokomo is Democratic, right? You've got the unions there, and how you are able to be the type of mayor that represents all people and not just some people. Without further ado, Mayor Tyler Moore.
It is. I mean, I grew up not coming to the race all the time, but coming down to the track, and then you're right, it's just an amazing experience for those that have been here before. But going back to the support given to Whitley and the diversity series, when I saw that email come across, I mean, it's something that when I first took office, I've only been in office my first term, so I've only been in office a little over 2 years. Of course, coming in right at the head of the pandemic, and then having the racial unrest, across the country thrown on top of that made things, difficult. But we were very fortunate in Kokomo to have, in my opinion, a great relationship with the religious community. I mean, we had a handful of pastors that sat me down during the campaign because my predecessor decided not to run again. And as Billy mentioned, Howard County, well, Kokomo, not Howard County, Kokomo has typically been heavier Democrat. We've got a heavy Chrysler now, Stellantis presence, so there's a big union presence, and so there's been, that, mindset and political leaning, to the Democrat side that when I decided to run, fortunately I had spent 11 years as commissioner before, and so had created a good working relationship, and both professional and personal relationship with a lot of folks within the union, with a lot of folks in the religious community. I'm a God-fearing man myself, and know that everything that I am and everything that I do, comes from him anyhow. Those pastors sat me down, wanted to know if I was the real deal. Got into office, they sat me down again and said, okay, we knew you were the real deal, let's see what you can do, because the main crux of that, because the large majority of those pastors that sat me down are from the black community. They said, we look at the administration, I know you're just coming in, but we see the previous administration, there's nobody up here that looks like us. I said, get it. That's something that I committed to work on and work hand in hand. And at the same time, Jimmy mentioned Reverend Harrison. I'm assuming it's the same one that started the 10-point down here. Is it different Harrison? Okay, well, Reverend Harrison, those pastors also invited him to start a 10-point coalition in Kokomo to have the same initiatives because they saw, the need for support for the youth specifically in their community, and they wanted a better relationship, a better working relationship with our police department that had kind of fallen by the wayside, previously to me taking office. And so we made that commitment. We sat down with the police chief, and the police chief was very intentional on recruiting diverse candidates within the police department. We figured that was the safest and probably the best place to start, because the breakdown between the community and the police department is where a lot of the struggles came. And so we wanted to better that. And so Chief Stout, in his wisdom, designated Edith Forrestal as our recruitment officer. And so all he does is work on recruitment. And he is a black officer himself, because we figured that's the best way, to reach those in the community, not just in the black community, but throughout the community, because he's such a great working relationship with kids, and that has paid off dividends, beyond measure. I was raised with a servant's heart. I saw my parents both actively involved in communities and service organizations. That's how my sisters and brother and I were all raised. And like I said, with the opportunities that God's given me, and I know that I'm blessed because I see it as an opportunity to give back.
How y'all doing today? I said, how y'all doing today?
Good, how are you?
We're doing good.
We're just trying to figure out where the female person is that works in the pit.
Right?
She down that way?
I don't know. I haven't seen one yet.
Oh, they said she see her.
Oh, yes?
But they said that like the pit is down here too.
We'll find out. Hey, bro. How you doing?
We were talking about like
Bet. You all enjoy the rest of the day? That's how it's done, baby.
Rosen pushed with the fourth fast lap today on Twitter.
But we got one last figure, and he's gonna be quick. His name is Mike Hurdle. He's a serial CEO. I don't know how many businesses. I don't know how many businesses he owns, but it's a whole bunch of them. He's got his own NFT that's launched. And he's doing amazing things in the tech world, and he's going to talk about social capital as currency. So give it up for Mike Hurdle.
start this with this. It's 3 o'clock, and my buddy, the bar is open. So before I start talking, you know what I'm saying? Let's be successful businessman. You know what I'm saying? Let's partake. We'll come back at like 3:15. Like, let's partake. Mr. CEO knows how to read the room. Hey, I appreciate y'all for being a captive audience. I produced this beat, you feel me? I'm not an artist, business is my art form, but you know, I just wanted to reset the room. We had some crazy vibes singing. We talk about how social capital is currency. And so yeah, I think it's kind of fitting that we started this out by sharing drinks, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, social capital, that is a brand. You know, it's a common belief that people have. So anyway, I'm gonna get to Web3. I'm gonna get to talking about Web3 and the power of media, technology, and culture. Okay, so that's where we're going with this. And we've spent a lot of time today talking about traditions, you know. And I think that, you know, in order for you to have a tradition, you're really having a conversation about culture. And our culture has been affected by technology in ways that I think a lot of us haven't taken time to comprehend, right? So I want to jump back to kind of the history of the internet, history of media a little bit, get to where we are today. To get to the 3, let's talk about the 1, right? So the internet, I was at IU in 2007. You still had to have a .edu email to create a Facebook account at that time, right? We were still kind of coding with JavaScript and CSS on MySpace at the time. There was a couple of websites, if we wanted to interact with each other, there were forums and chat rooms where that happened, right? So Facebook happens, MySpace dies, Napster happens. I'm in college, I don't notice a depression happen. And Web 2.0 comes around. So in 2009, I started my company Enthrall. Enthrall means to capture the fascinated attention of, and my goal was to get into marketing and help people capture the fascinated attention of whatever market is that they were trying to pursue, right? So that's why a lot of people know me. That's why I'm here now, because a couple people in the room have watched me build my business over the last 13 years. And I joined the military in 2011 because I had a clear vision for myself, right? Like, I actually never envisioned myself walking across a stage and like graduating college. But I wanted my last name on a degree, so I married that girl in the back. And I became a satellite communications technician and paid her bills while she finished college. And then instead of going to law school, she went to Germany with me. So while I'm in Germany, this crazy thing happens, and the internet transitions, and nobody was announced like, oh, Web 2 is here, right? That's because if you weren't building it, it wasn't for you. Now, I'll tell you one thing, Web 3 is a place where we're all builders. It doesn't matter who you are. If you want to interact with the blockchain, we'll get into that. You are literally writing transactions on the internet that will be persistent forever. Right? Instagram comes out. Now, the internet is changing from where we're just reading what everybody else is doing to where we're reading and we're writing to each other on these timelines, right? All day, every day, we're interacting and communicating with each other. And the internet really went from a place where you can go and just get information to a place where we're exchanging information. Now, the issue with Web 2, though, was, again, we were late to the party, because the places that we're seeing this information were owned by a few titans. And what we didn't know was they're collecting data from us. And it's not ours anymore. So now, what I know is thoughts become things. Well, what happens when you don't own your thoughts? Whoa. Right?
Somebody else's thing.
Now, we're sitting here at a track And I've been watching in these garages, these teams, right, when the garage is closed, you think they're not working? They let the garage up and then people come and they watch what they're doing as they pull the cars out and get them moving, right? This is literally a test of technology that's happening on these tracks. And before we did this for recreation, technology was about warfare.
Yeah.
It was like whoever had the most advanced technology was who was going to win the war. So I want to create a couple of common definitions before we get into like me defining Web3. Okay. So first, I want to define social because a lot of us spend a majority of our time on this thing called social media. So this is the prep I did do. I looked at the calendar. Dictionary. Social means relating to interaction with other people, especially for pleasure, or living naturally in groups or communities. You can't get away from that. You can't get around that. No matter what you're doing, you're a part of a social construct. We're a part of a system. This society is a system. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you can kind of try to point at who did what, but at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what are you going to do, right? Like the only thing that we really control is our mind. And so if we accept, right, thank you, Willie. So, so we got to be but one thing I also know is that culture is about common understandings. And so if one person is speaking this language and another person is speaking that language and they're arguing about something, and they haven't established a common understanding, they're not going to create culture. I'm about to end Web 2 and move to Web 3. Web 2, data points. I'm trying to be a VC, so I got to use the right language. All right, so Web 2.0 data points. Popeye's chicken sandwich. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
The spicy one?
Like I was part of a trend, you know? I felt like I had an opinion and it was valid and I could participate. It felt good, right? And so in Web 3, what we're seeing is the first wave got in almost exclusively out of two things. Ignorance and extremely high level of interest. And it was ignorance and intrigue. I was in Miami in 2012 for a network marketing conference for a company called 5 Links. I was selling DirecTV while I was in Germany. And on the other side of the convention center, right? 5 Links is dead. It don't even exist no more. On the other side of the convention center was one of the first Bitcoin conferences in the world. People walking around with their lanyards with the Bitcoin. I'm like, what is this? The 5 Links conference had like 20 times the people of who was in the Bitcoin conference. I guarantee you every person in that Bitcoin conference is like a billionaire now. Right? At least. Right? But this is where social capital becomes currency. because the belief in Bitcoin got mobilized into belief in other currencies, altcoins, shit coins, my coin, your coin, her coin. Give me a coin.
Yeah.
What's your wallet? Not this wallet. No, what's in your wallet? Not Capital One. I'm talking about MetaMask. Coinbase wallet? No, it sucks. Get Robinhood, right? There's all these options now for us to mobilize our belief through the financial markets. And I really do believe that within the next decade, it will almost be an entirely optional thing where you exist financially, right? And to this point, you were subject to whatever rules the country that you lived in put before you, and then you played that game, and that was the economy. What we're seeing now is the economy is breaking because the rules are not centralized.
Talk about it.
So here's the question that I would love for all of us to really walk away from here thinking about, right? Of course, there's a lot of problems that have informed our perspectives and may motivate some of us or make us passionate about different things. But what I want you all to understand is the solution is one accurate thinking.
Well,
like there's a lot of people operating with, I'll just say biases, right? Because if it's not fact, it's an opinion. Like there are no alternative facts. The facts are the facts, right? They don't. And so that's the first thing is like, get clear on the facts. Once you're there, you can exist in reality and make impact on whatever opinions you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're creating the facts, like, the opinions are going to happen.
Oh, yes.
So, focus on the facts. Now, from there, what type of facts do we need to be real within our society for us to believe in each other enough to create beliefs that other people will also believe in?
yeah. Mike for president. Is that what I heard? Mike for president?
Mike for mayor, because Indianapolis needs a mayor.
Once we are, as a collective, able to get on the same
Alright,
page
well, I gotta
create
hop on my
social
bike and make
capital,
a quick
'cause social
mission.
capital is created.
Gotta make a quick mission down the street.
Is
Accountability. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a good